Hello, welcome to the next Gren Twigs video. In this one, I am going to make a command line Pomodoro timer using Gren-TUI. So I am in a mostly empty directory. I just have my DevBox config because I'm using DevBox to install my dependencies. You don't have to do that, but if you want to follow along, you are going to want Gren installed, and you can install that however you want. I'm using DevBox, like I said, but just check the grenlang.org/install page. We'll tell you all the ways you can install that. And then you're also going to need Node.js and cowsay. Cowsay is a little fun command line tool that lets you make a cow say things, because I would like a cow to be counting down my Pomodoro timer. So we're going to delegate to cowsay for that part of the rendering. Now, the actual program, once you have those things installed, you should be able to initialize the program with gren init and specify node as the platform, because this is going to run on the command line. Then you can install the packages you need. So that's going to be gren package install Gren-TUI. You're also going to want Gren-ANSI, because that'll give us some colors and some other things that we might want. Once you have those installed, we can create our main file. Now, the easiest way to get started, here's a hint, here's a trick, here's a hot tip. If you go to the repo, github/blake/Gren-TUI, and in the examples folder, the latest set of examples, look for hello world. Just grab this main. Just grab it wholesale. Use that, and that'll get you started. You should be able to then do gren make, run that, and you should see hello world. Great. Escape to quit. Now, I also have two other tools installed. One of them is FD. It's like a better version of find. It's git aware, uses regular expressions, things like that. This part's optional. This is how I, like in most of my projects, I usually will run a combination of FD and another tool called enter that will watch files that change and then run a command. So I do that to keep my compiler running in a loop, just to give me some fast feedback. So I usually start by just searching for all Gren files in my project, which looks like this, just anything followed by .gren. Right now that's just main, fine. And then enter, you feed it a list of files, and if any of them change, it runs a command. I'm going to pass the C option to clear the screen when the command runs, and then tell it to run gren make on my main file. All right, we're good to go. In a new window, I will hop back into Vim. Now, right now we're saying hello world, but what I want to do is I want to call cowsay and spit that out instead of hello world. So if I want to call something from Gren, like cowsay, I'm going to need a module called child process. I'm also going to expose some of the types. So when we run a child process, it will either give us a failed run result or it will give us a result where the error value is going to be a failed run. The success value will be a successful run. And you can check the docs. If you go to Gren packages, packages.grenlang.org, in this node package, in the child process module, you can see all of this. So yeah, there's our failed run and our successful run. That's what we get back from running run. It'll give us standard out, exit code, that kind of stuff. We're mainly going to be interested in standard out of a successful run. All right, once we have that, let's we're going to call it, let's start by calling it from init, but I'm going to make a function to call cowsay just to make it a little easier. Now, to call a child process, you are going to need a permission value. I'll show you how to get that in a second. But that just makes it harder for packages to do things that affect the state outside of your program without you explicitly saying that they're allowed to do that. So once we have a permission value and a string, then we will run cowsay and get back a task, or specify that we want to run cowsay, which gives us a task where the failure condition is a failed run. The successful condition is a successful run. Permission, that's going to be the output. And what does that look like? Child process.run. Let's look at the docs again. So run wants the permission value. Then it wants a string. That's going to be the name of the program that you're running. In our case, that's cowsay. And then an array for the arguments. And we're just going to give it one argument, which is the output. And then it wants run options. So I'm just going to give it the default options. Okay, that should be good. Are we still compiling? We're not, because I'm not exposing the task type. All right, we're compiling again. Now, how do I get that permission value? I do that in init with the child process.initialize. That is something called an init task, so we can await that task with init.await. Init is in the node package. Once that resolves, we will get a child process permission. We're going to want to save that on our model so that we can call cowsay wherever we want. Or not wherever we want, wherever it's appropriate to call a task. All right, now we should be able to say that this field is now set to our permission value. And I believe once again, we should be good to go. We are. All right, now I'm hiding my cursor here. I want to keep doing that. So normally I would be able, if I have another task, I should be able to do task dot and then do my task. However, Gren-TUI for hide cursor specifies a value called never for the error condition. That makes it hard to chain with tasks that can fail. So the next version, that won't be a problem, but that's not released yet. So for now, I'm just going to treat this as two separate commands where one of them is executing a task that hides the cursor, and the other will be attempting a task that calls cowsay with that permission value, and we're just hard code a time for now. And that we will need to turn it into a command, we have to call, since it can fail, we want task.attempt. And we'll give it a message that can hold the result of that task. So I'm going to call the message got output because I care about the output of my cowsay call. Let's go ahead and add that message. And like I said, it will be a result and same shape as the task. Failed run and successful run is the fail and success value types, respectively. Now we need to handle that in our update. So if we got output from cowsay, that was okay. So a result either gives you an okay with this, or it gives you an error with this. So when we have an okay with our successful run, let's say that our model is going to be our old model, but updated with some new field that I'm going to add called output. It'll be a string set to the result of calling cowsay, which will be captured in this standard out field. However, standard out is going to be bytes, so we need to turn that into a string. ToString doesn't give you a string, it gives you a maybe string. So that's either, just, and I always do that, just the string we want or nothing. So we can turn a maybe string into a string by calling maybe with default and giving it a default string to use in the case where it not able to have one. You might want to handle this better, you know, like exit the program and print an error message, whatever, but I'm not going to get into that. I just want to stick to the happy path for this video and say if it can't decode for whatever reason, I will say can't decode cowsay output. And the command when we do this, I think, is nothing. All right, I think we need to add that output field now on our model. I believe we're compiling. Let's see, we're not. What did I mess up? Got my body wrong. On my init.await. What did I screw up? Oh, I added a field to my model, but I'm not initializing it. All right, and I forgot one of the cases. What happens when we got output with an error? Probably for now, just something similar to this. We'll say if it's an error, we'll do pretty much the same thing, but we'll look at standard error and say we can't decode the cowsay error. All right, we're compiling. Let's try to run it. It still says hello world because our view still says hello world. Let's update our view. Instead of hello world, we want to see the output. It's compiling. There we go. There's our cow showing our hard-coded timer. I think I will stop there, and in the next video, we'll start making that timer countdown.